And I do want to address something that does come up for us when we share about Suivera. And that is, so are we saying that we should be so self-focused that we don't take from the outside in and consider what's going on in the outside environment? And I want to be very, very clear. That is not what we're saying at all, because we are very aware that it is interactive. We live in an interactive world. Our key focus is, if we don't know who we are and what we believe and what we stand for from the inside, what each and every one of us have come here to understand as souls and to share as souls with the world outside of us and with one another, then all we're going to do is take in from the outside and bounce around because we don't know. And we're going to go through life confused and not really having our direction. So our whole flow is, let's understand, let's just take that sacred pause for self-truth so that we know the why for why we're here. And then once we have that rooted, and we know that as the world comes at us fast and furious, as it will, we're very clear on who we are and why we're here. And from that space, we're rooted enough to take the world in and to share with the world, to take the world in and share with the world, because we have enough love and compassion for ourselves that it's so easy to let it flow out into the world. And it's so easy to let the world come in. And we explain that a lot in the Personal Boundaries and Guiding Principles podcast that we did not that long ago. So just for that clarity marker, I know that sometimes it's really easy when you hear someone talk about living life from the inside out to think that that just puts up a wall, to say that you're not willing to connect and take feedback. It's actually it's so much easier to take feedback when you know who you are, because then your ego doesn't get defensive, right?
Well, yeah, it's not narcissistic. It's understanding.
Yeah.
And we take the time to understand so many things outside of ourselves, yet we don't put a strong effort into that. Even if we matched it, I know that I spent so much time learning about cars or learning about golf or learning about, all these things that were outside of me that I really loved, that I experienced love inside of me. But I had no awareness. Like, I couldn't tell you, why am I here? What's important to me? I knew the missions and visions of businesses, but I didn't even know my own mission or vision or anything like that. And so that's to me, it was a clear representation of, wow, I am not spending any time. I'm spending my whole life from the outside to the in, letting everything define who I am. And then going forward from that perspective, which in many ways left me feeling like a void, left me feeling unhappy. It left me feeling like I didn't know who I was because I was so busy worrying what everyone else thought, what everyone was doing, and how I should show up. And for each different person, it just got exhausting. But when you have that internal clarity, then when, as you're saying, when things from around you come forward, it actually helps you be really clear, decisive, connected, present, aware. And you can choose, and you can move through life with precision in a way that you just can't. It feels like chaos when you're from the outside to the in, but when you're in the inside to the out, you have a level of almost laser focus that you can explore and expand. And then it becomes it's an and. It's living in the and, not the or.
This has always been my marker. If someone starts questioning what I believe and I get defensive, then I don't actually know what I believe. Because if I truly know what I believe and I know why I believe it, and I know why I stand for that, then I don't need to be defensive. If I don't, then I feel insecure. Then suddenly my ego and my inner critic take over. That critical voice, you're not good enough, you don't know enough about this, you have to defend this. And suddenly I get overly defensive because I feel like I have something to prove. But when I know what I believe in, I know who I am, I know why I believe what I believe, and I know what I believe, then there's no reason to be defensive. I'm not asking you to believe what I believe. You're not in my situation. So I'll answer any questions you have. I'll gladly share what I believe and why I believe it, but I'm not here to convince you of anything. I feel very secure in my beliefs. And to me, that's a key, for me, that's a key indicator that I have spent enough time exploring and understanding. Now, beliefs do change, right? As we go through life and grow through life, seasons of life change and things change, and it's always good to revisit. But that's one thing I will share. Sit with yourself. Really sit with yourself and ask, do I get defensive if somebody questions what I believe in? Do I feel like I have to prove it? Do I have to change them to be what I believe in? And if so, why? Why do I have to make many versions of me everywhere? Is it not enough that I believe what I believe and I feel confident enough that they can believe what they believe and move on?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's when we do live from the inside, from the outside in, it's really easy to make something like faith become an identity. Because if we don't know, and this could be faith, this could be politics, this could be ideas just in general.
Education.
Education. Yeah, there's so many things that we can take from outside of ourselves to build our identity as a way to almost fill this void because there hasn't been time to taken to actually build up our internal. So it's kind of like, Tetris, you're like pulling all these things and finding the right puzzle piece of all these things outside of yourself to feel like, oh no, I'm complete because I have these beliefs or these ideas, and this is what makes me me. So that when someone does question it, then it feels like a death, right? And it feels like we almost go into fight or flight because it's like, wow, I've got to defend that because this is who I am, and they're hitting me at they're questioning who I am as a person. But the reality is you exist without all those things. But we just forget that, and we haven't really been taught. Our society is not set up to support us in that way. And so when we can learn how to effectively build ourselves up first, as you're saying, or in parallel, and we can start to use these ideas to help support and understand who we are through the process as a mirror, as an experience, as an understanding, because who you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago has changed. And same with me, and same with every other person. We might think we believe, or we might think we are the same person, but the reality is we're not. We're definitely not. And that is one of the beauties and experiences of linear time, is we get to experience ourselves in different versions of who we are as we explore the greatest version of the grandest vision of who we can become.
Absolutely. And when we take the time to really dive into that exploration, I would offer it is the most fun journey because it's like dating yourself. I don't know how to say it any other way. We take all this time when we go on dates to get to know other people, right? We don't necessarily take the time to do that with ourselves to say, hey, what do I actually like to do when I am on my own? Or what are my views? And are they my views because they're my views? Or are they my views because I was raised with those views and I just never went and explored outside of those views? How much exploration have I done? Do I desire to do more exploration or do I not? So there are all these things that we could do to, even if you never venture over to Suivera, although we have a plethora of tools that are available, and a lot of them are for free. If you go onto our Facebook, which is suivera.org on Facebook, or website, I mean, we've got a ton of them. But just look up different tools that you can use, questionnaires, you name it, to go in and really start challenging yourself. So that in a real world scenario, if somebody starts challenging you, you're like, man, I got that. I've already asked myself these questions a million times. Otherwise, it becomes really, really off-putting.